Welcome to PTI, boys and girls. In today's episode, Ja Morant struggles. A goalie tries to pocket Alex Ovechkin's 900th goal, and Booger McFarland joins us for 5 good minutes. But we begin today with Victor Wembanyama, who you, Wilbon, have been slurping all season.
Yes, I have.
Wembanyama went on the road last night to L.A. and came out with just 19 points on 5 of 14 shooting. He committed 5 turnovers and 6 fouls. The Spurs were basically beaten by Luka Doncic's 35 points in a game that went down to the wire. In Wembanyama's previous game, he had 9 points and 6 turnovers. So, Wilbon, how do you explain what's happened to your boy Wembanyama the last 2 games?
Here's how I explain it. Competition. This is what the teams in the league, the other 29, are supposed to try to do to Victor Wembanyama. To blitz him, to get him in foul trouble, to figure out things. Tony, the only thing, and by the way, I think this works so brilliantly in Wembanyama's favor and in San Antonio's favor with Castle and Harper, and Sochan played for the first time last night, and the cast of characters they got, young players who are not going to win a championship this year, who are not going to play for one this year, but they're going to move in that direction, and Wembanyama's going to lead them there because he's going to get angry and emotional and be competitive and come with answers because he's smart and resourceful and tough and well-schooled and well-coached. This is great for San Antonio. I loved seeing this and watching it last night. By the way, some kudos to the Lakers, okay? Some kudos to everybody in the Laker organization. They got no LeBron. They've missed Luka a couple of games. They don't have Austin Reeves, and they are playing their butts off. So good for the Lakers.
Yeah,
but this is great for Wembanyama. He's got to counter now. That's his job.
I don't think it's great for Wembanyama,
Great.
but I'm going to leave Wembanyama out of this. You know, I can explain exactly how this happens with a phrase you've heard me say before, because the other coaches get paid and they watch film as well.
Yes.
And they try to figure out, how do we stop this guy? He'll be great in the long term. It takes practice and it takes time. And he's not Wilt. He's not the strongest guy in the league when he walked in like Wilt was. I'm going to go the other side. Something else you gleaned from that game, and that is that the most effective player in the league right now is Luka Doncic. The most effective player. Okay? But only if you care about getting 40 points a game. Luka Doncic, his first 5 games this year, he has 200 points. Mike, here is a list of all the other NBA players, past and present, who opened a season through 5 games and had 200 points. Wilt Chamberlain, that's it. That's the list. Wilt Chamberlain. Luka Doncic. The Lakers are winning without LeBron, as you said. They're winning without Reeves, as you said. They're winning because Luka Doncic is making them win. It's another reason why Nico Harrison should be fired for trading Luka. The Lakers are 7-2, I believe, and Dallas is 2-6. And Anthony Davis is hurt again. Who could have seen that coming? Huh?
By the way, some credit to J.J. Redick specifically. And you're wrong about Luka being that player. You're wrong. He's runner-up to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I don't care about the points alone. Shai actually plays the other end. Luka, we'll find out.
He's got a better team.
We'll see.
He's playing with a better team.
He is.
Luka's doing more with lesser team.
Playing with a better team. Let's move to the tension in Memphis, Tony. Ja Morant had a bad night on the floor again last night, shooting just 6 for 19. 6 turnovers in the Grizzlies' loss to Houston. During timeouts, Morant largely kept his distance from his coach, Thomas Izalo. And the Grizzlies suspended Morant for 1 game over the weekend for his conduct toward that coach. So, Tony, what needs to happen with Ja?
He's got to go. This shouldn't go another day or another week or another month. No. He's poisoned there now. He's not talking to this coach. So unless Memphis wants to fire this coach, they've got to do something with Ja Morant. You know, he's not talking to the coach. He's not producing. If you go 6 of 19, you're not producing. He's been suspended, as you said, 1 game for not having any relationship with the coach. Previously, he had been suspended more than once for conduct unbecoming off the field, right? I mean, so there's history here. I don't see that there's any way out here except to deal him. And it's too bad for Memphis because you know what, Mike, and I know you agree with this. They're not going to get a guy as good as him to replace him.
No.
They're not going to attract a free agent in Memphis.
No.
If Memphis screws this up, they could actually have to relocate the franchise. And they are not dealing from a position of strength right now. Those are my immediate impressions.
I'm going to give you credit. You called me Friday and you said, your boy Ja has to go now. I give you full credit because you and I started talking about places where he could go and maybe salvage his career. Tony, he's got to go. And you and I mentioned some places where you have strong coaching, strong organization, strong locker room. And I again, did you mention the Celtics? Which in real time, I thought you were crazy, and now I don't think you're crazy.
No. I mean, it's up. Look, there's a couple of places it's up to them. It's up to the Celtics if they want him. It's up to Miami if they're worried about him in South Beach. Maybe they don't want him.
That.
I would not. If I were the Knicks, I wouldn't do it because Mike Brown just got there. He's a veteran coach, but he's not a veteran there.
Right.
I mean, to me, a place that makes sense is Milwaukee. With Giannis, with Doc Rivers, a veteran coach.
I like that.
Maybe the Clippers. I know how much you like Tyler.
Yes.
Maybe the Clippers. But the other part about Ja Morant is refresh my memory again about how many championships he's won. Because the answer is none.
He doesn't even play in 60 games. He's never played in 70. I love the Milwaukee and Clippers suggestions.
Do you like that?
You got to have an established coach and established stars, and you have to corral him. Tony is wasting away. You don't get forever. And then Ja, and for different reasons, Zion. These guys were supposed to be. We talk about
big
faces of the league. They're big, huge talents. And it's not working.
Big
Different
talent.
reasons. Zion is not that kind of problem. But Ja Morant, man.
Week 10 of the NFL schedule kicks off tonight, which makes it a perfect time for a visit from our great friend, ESPN NFL and college football analyst, Mr. Booger McFarland. Today wearing a shirt from Highgrove in Central Florida. Gil Hans course hasn't even opened yet. Wilbon, Booger's going to be there to cut the ribbon. Let's start with this. Let's start with this. So tonight, it's the Raiders at the Broncos. Booger, why do you think, or maybe you disagree with the premise, that Pete Carroll hasn't had more immediate success?
Yeah, Tony, I think it's a number of reasons. Number one, Geno Smith just hasn't been as good. You know, Pete kind of handpicked him. They traded for him. He's the quarterback. He's turning the football over at a very high rate. That's number one. Number two, they don't have many weapons offensively. They got a couple of good tight ends in Michael Mayer and Bowers. Those guys are really good tight ends, but they don't have the weapons on the outside. And then lastly, you know how it is. All us old guys up here on this panel, man, Pete's 74 years old. Pete kind of stuck in his ways. Pete grew up in that Seattle cover 3 defense, and I don't think the defense has evolved. So the defense hasn't been as successful, and I think Pete has to kind of innovate a little bit. And I think maybe there's a hesitancy to innovate and change. Pete wants to run the football. They went out and they drafted Ashton Genty. You got to morph into what's going on right now. It's no longer a ground and pound league. You got to turn into and throw the football around. And so I think they got to figure out what they want to do and how they want to play, and Pete's got to spearhead that.
Ooh, speaking about figure out what they got to do, let's go to the New York Jets. And Booger, if you're on the Jets defense and your team trades away the 2 best players on your defense, you brought a coach in, a defensive guy, defensive ace, and you trade them for future picks, you are thinking what?
Well, first of all, I'm wondering how come I didn't get traded, because I must not be good enough if they kept me. That's number one. Why the hell am I still here? Second of all, here's the thing that I would think about. Are you really telling us that we're trying to win now? When you trade the 2 best players on defense, the guys that's making the most money, I think we're all adults in the room. We all understand, A, you're not trying to win now. You're not trying to win anytime soon. And we're stockpiling picks for a quarterback. And so I would just ask the coach, let's be honest, guys. We're all professionals. We're all getting paid a lot of money here. I would hope that Aaron Glenn stands in front of the room and say, hey, the guys that are here, we're going to go out and we're going to try to win every game. But I think we all know that the Jets are looking for 26 and 27 drafts, trying to figure out who their quarterback is going to be. But I would be scratching my head. If we're going to make a fire sale, how come I can't get out? Quincy Williams, the linebacker, they traded his brother and then they benched him. How come you didn't trade me too? That's what I'd be asking.
Not so happy anniversary, Chris Boswell. On this day 9 years ago, the Steelers kicker attempted a trick onside kick known as a Rabona kick. As you can see, Boswell failed miserably and comically against the Ravens. Kick went about 6 inches.
What is that?
Boswell got too cute for his own good, prompting laughters from players and officials. But Boswell is still going strong in Pittsburgh. In Week 1, he hit a 60-yard field goal to beat the Jets 34-32. Longest field goal ever by a Steelers kicker. Boswell is currently the most accurate kicker in NFL history on attempts 50 yards or more, 49 for 59. Wow. Interestingly enough, Boswell nailed a successful Rabona while playing at Rice, but his team still went on to lose.
Yeah, bring some other dude in and put him on special teams to dribble the ball. You want to dribble it, get somebody else. This dude is kicking it out of the stadium to have that kind of accuracy beyond 50 yards. Kudos to him.
Amazing. Really is impressive. Happy trails to the Padres hiring Albert Pujols as their next manager. The team today surprisingly hired Craig Stammen as its new manager. 41-year-old Stammen was a longtime reliever for the Padres and the Washington Nationals, had been a special assistant to GM A.J. Preller. Pujols was thought to have had the inside track on the job, partly due to his relationships with fellow Dominicans Manny Machado and Fernando Tatis Jr. Bob Nightingale even reported that Pujols' second interview with the team lasted 9.5 hours, but
Wow.
it's Stammen who will replace Mike Schilt.
Maybe Pujols is just difficult. Or maybe, he just says, you know what, I don't need this right now. I can do whatever I want to. I'm Albert Pujols.
Big finish as quickly as we can. Russell Westbrook became the NBA's all-time rebounding leader amongst guards last night, eclipsing Jason Kidd. Is that significant?
Tony, it is, because it speaks to effort. And nobody's ever tried any harder than Russell Westbrook. The Thunder lost for the first time last night. Is that significant?
Not like they were going 82-0. By the way,
No.
they got beat. Thiago Splitter now 5-2 in
Doing a
Portland
good
since
job in
Chauncey
Portland.
Billups left.
Yep.
The Knicks scored 83 in the second half of a win over the Timberwolves last night. You impressed?
I was befuddled. I watched the first half of that, come back, I look at the score, I'm like, how did this happen? The NFL fined Panthers running back Rico Dowdle nearly $15,000 for his 2 pumps touchdown celebration. Maybe I'll get fined. Does that make sense to you?
Don't ask me, ask Key and Peele. Last one, Clippers at Suns tonight. Who you got?
You know I root for Book. You know I root for T. Lou. I'm torn.
You want to play out your tragedy on a national scale?
Yeah.
Who you got? We're out of time. Try to do better the next time. I'm Tony Kornheiser.
I'm Mike Wilbon. Same time tomorrow, Knuckleheads.